16 shocking taboos in Japan that could embarrass you. Number 7 will terrify you. Japan is a land of captivating traditions, futuristic technology, and breathtaking natural beauty. But for those unfamiliar with its cultural intricacies, certain behaviors or actions can unintentionally cause offense. In this video, we'll explore 16 shocking taboos in Japan that could leave you red-faced. Whether you're planning to visit or simply curious about Japanese customs, understanding these taboos will help you navigate the country with respect and cultural sensitivity. And don't forget, taboo number 7 might surprise and even terrify you. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools and insight to avoid awkward situations and connect meaningfully with Japan's rich cultural heritage. Let's dive in. Before we explore the list, let's discuss why etiquette holds such importance in Japan. At the heart of Japanese culture is a commitment to harmony, known as wa. From the smallest gestures to larger interactions, people strive to avoid causing discomfort or trouble for others. Politeness and mindfulness of others are deeply ingrained values that weave through everyday life. As a visitor, it's essential to approach their customs with a willingness to adapt. While the Japanese are incredibly understanding toward foreigners, knowing local taboos shows respect, earns trust, and leads to a richer, more authentic experience. Let's now explore some of the most surprising taboos in Japanese culture. Many of these behaviors might seem ordinary elsewhere, but can cause embarrassment or awkwardness in Japan. Unlike many countries where tipping is customary, tipping in Japan is not only unnecessary but can also be considered rude. Service workers like waitstaff, taxi drivers, and hotel staff see it as their duty to provide excellent service without expecting additional payment. If you leave a tip, it could create confusion or even embarrassment. Instead, express gratitude verbally by saying arigatou gozaimasu or give a small, beautifully wrapped gift if you want to go above and beyond. In Japanese culture, public spaces like trains, buses, and subways are intended to be as quiet as possible. Speaking loudly or engaging in animated conversations can disturb others. This is particularly frowned upon in packed urban areas. When using public transit, keep your voice low or stay silent, especially when taking calls or chatting. Being considerate of shared spaces is crucial in maintaining harmony. One of the most well-known Japanese customs is removing shoes before entering homes, traditional inns, ryokans, certain temples, and even some restaurants. Wearing outdoor shoes indoors is seen as unhygienic and disrespectful. At these places, you'll often find a designated area to store your shoes and replace them with slippers. Be mindful, though. Even slippers shouldn't touch certain clean spaces, like tatami mats, straw flooring. While grabbing some street food and munching on the go might seem normal elsewhere, in Japan it's considered bad manners. Eating while walking is seen as sloppy or careless. When buying food from vendors or convenience stores, find a bench or designated eating area and consume it there. This thoughtful custom reflects how the Japanese value cleanliness and mindfulness. Chopsticks come with strict rules in Japan, and breaking them can lead to awkward situations. For example, avoid sticking your chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice. It resembles a ritual performed at funerals. Also, don't use chopsticks to pass food from one set of chopsticks to another, as this mimics a funeral ceremony. Instead, use the serving utensils provided or your chopsticks back end to transfer food. Gift-giving in Japan is steeped in tradition, and there are specific cultural nuances to keep in mind. It's important to present gifts in beautiful wrapping paper, as the presentation holds as much importance as the gift itself. Equally significant is avoiding certain numbers like 4 or 9, as they are associated with bad luck. Gifts should also be offered with both hands and a bow, showing respect and gratitude. This taboo has historical ties to Japan's criminal underworld. For decades, tattoos were associated with the Yakuza, Japanese organized crime groups, leading to a lingering stigma. Even today, visible tattoos may restrict access to public baths, swimming pools, or gyms. If you have tattoos, some smaller or privately owned onsen might be more accommodating, but it's wise to cover them when in doubt. This taboo might feel daunting, but it reflects deep-rooted cultural associations worth appreciating. Though slurping noodles is commonly accepted, and even seen as a sign you're enjoying your meal, slurping beverages like tea or soup is viewed as bad table manners. To fit in, sip drinks quietly and reserve enthusiastic slurping for noodle dishes like ramen or udon. In Japan, pointing is considered impolite, as it can come across as overly assertive or even aggressive. Instead of using your finger, gesture politely using your entire hand. If you need to indicate something, keep your movements subtle and respectful. Sniffling in a crowded space may seem unpleasant, but blowing your nose in public is considered much worse in Japan. This act is considered unhygienic and embarrassing. If you need to sneeze or blow your nose, excuse yourself to a private area or turn away from others while doing so discreetly. Feet are generally viewed as unclean in Japan, which is why placing your feet on seats or tables is seen as disrespectful. Even when sitting cross-legged in informal settings, avoid pointing the soles of your feet toward others. This small gesture can make all the difference in leaving a favorable impression. In Japanese culture, direct refusals are seen as overly blunt and potentially hurtful. Instead, responses like "choto," which literally means a little, or hesitant phrases signal a polite no. By being indirect, Japanese interactions aim to preserve harmony and avoid offending others. This approach is a testament to their deeply respectful communication style. Respect for personal space is an unspoken rule in Japan. For example, public trains can get packed during rush hours, but even in those situations, people strive not to make physical contact unless unavoidable. Avoid touching strangers or standing too close while waiting in line, as these actions might be seen as intrusive. Bowing forms an essential part of Japanese etiquette. It's used in a variety of contexts, from expressing thanks to showing respect or apologizing. Mastering the basics, like the angle of bowing for different situations, will help you stand out as a culturally aware visitor. A shallow bow, around 15 degrees, works for casual exchanges, while deeper bows, 30 degrees or more, convey greater respect or formality. In Japan, mealtime is often treated as a group experience. It's customary to wait for everyone to be served before beginning your meal. Once everyone is ready, join in by saying "itadakimasu," which acknowledges and gives thanks for the food. Starting your meal prematurely may come across as disrespectful to those dining with you. Whether you're at a cafe, restaurant, or someone's home, placing your bag directly on the table or seating surface is another significant no-no. Doing so is considered unhygienic and can cause discomfort to others. Many establishments provide small baskets or hooks for bags to keep everything tidy and off shared spaces. Learning about these taboos isn't about rigidly following the rules, it's about appreciating the deeper values that shape Japanese culture. Each taboo reflects a broader principle of mindfulness, respect, or consideration that makes Japan the harmonious society it is today. Understanding these customs provides a window into a way of life that prioritizes the well-being of the group over individual convenience. As cultural explorers, embracing these practices allows us to move beyond surface-level tourism and foster authentic connections with locals. No matter where you travel, being sensitive to local customs demonstrates humility and respect. Japan is no exception, with its fascinating social norms and long-standing traditions. While some of these taboos may surprise or even challenge first-time visitors, they're all part of what makes Japanese culture so unique and enriching to experience. Now you're armed with the knowledge to avoid missteps and navigate Japan's cultural landscape with confidence. And as you explore, don't be afraid to ask for guidance. Japanese people are typically understanding and happy to help. So, are you ready to take on Japan's customs and avoid these taboos? Share in the comments which taboo surprised you the most. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and dive into our channel for more exciting cultural education videos. Thank you for watching. Arigatou gozaimasu.